Welcome back to Grim 3D. Today I am saying goodbye to one of my favorites. Stay tuned. So if you've been a part of Grim 3D for a while, you may have seen my video. I'll put it up there. My favorite upgrade ever. Now, it is a good upgrade. It does work well. I've had a lot of luck with it. But I have two major problems that I have to deal with. And because of these two problems, I'm going to have to say goodbye to this particular upgrade. The upgrade is this flexible build surface that I got from Amazon. It's for an ender, obviously, but I cut it to fit my Maker Select. But notice what it's doing right here. Notice that break, that delamination. So that's going to break, that's going to delaminate. Now here's the thing, this is number one, my problem, that it's delaminating. And this is my third one. I've gone through 3 of these since posting that video. So they don't last a whole long time. And I'm kind of upset about that. The second problem that you have to deal with is that I figured if these got bad or went bad, I would just buy a new set, cut the top piece to fit, basically throw the bottom piece away, and just slap it back on there and be easy peasy, quick fix. But no. Every one of these that I've bought that's a new top does not magnetically adhere to the old bottom. So every time that I've bought a new one of these for the ender, I've had to cut the top and the bottom. I've had to strip the bottom off of my build plate, which is a pain in the butt, and start basically from scratch. So I'm going to call this a lose. I love the way this worked, and I know I didn't overheat these because this printer only prints PLA. The bed temperature, 60 degrees every time. Very consistent. I haven't had any thermal runaways, anything on this printer to make this delamination happen. I'm very, very careful when I pull this off of the bed to not put serious bends in it or creases in it. And when stuff comes off of here, it peels off very nicely. I don't have to really twist it or bend it to get the parts off of here. So I'm just going to have to go with something else. And here's my choice. I picked this up. This is paid for by me. They did not send this to me. This is from TH3D. It is a spring steel PEI covered plate. Smooth for the PLA. It's got a couple of nice little tabs on it here, and the corners are cut out for the Maker Select. Now, the magnetic sheet that goes on the bed, they're saying is rated up to 140 C. So I never print that hot. I keep it down to around 60 PLA. Not a big deal. Only problem I have, this is the way it came packaged with this magnet on the back here and a little business card and a sucker. Pretty awesome. There's a little sticker in there. It just came in a box, ready to go. So right now, I'm going to pull off this old magnetic sheet, replace it with this magnetic sheet. I do believe I'll need to cut these corners off of here. If you have a Maker Select, you'll know that the corners of the beds have a little screws in them that raise up a little bit, so you got to kind of clear these corners. I'm glad that TH3D cleared these corners out of the metal for me because this spring steel is not super easy to cut. So let's get started. hopefully that's the last time I'm gonna have to do that. I do have some adhesive left on here, so I'm gonna grab some acetone. You may have noticed, maybe not with the high speed, but you may have noticed I tried really hard to pull up on that as I was pushing down with the rest of my hand or my fingers or something on the actual build plate. I didn't want to bend this aluminum at all. And so if I can get this all cleaned up and looking nice, so grab some acetone, clean this up, make sure everything's nice and smooth, and then we'll start working on the TH3D magnetic sheet. Okay, I got the build plate pretty well cleaned off. There's no more adhesive on it anywhere that I can feel or see. Since I've been touching it with my oils on my fingers, I'm going to hit it with a little more acetone real fast, and then I won't touch it again. Then we can start working on the flexible base plate from TH3D. Before we move on, here's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. In order to replace a broken or torn or delaminating build surface from that Ender flexible build plate, every time I did that, I had to pull this off and replace it with the one that came with the new surface. And in the beginning, I really didn't think that would be necessary. I really thought that I'd be able to buy a new flexible build plate and just put it right on top of the old base magnet, but it didn't work that way. So this is one of the reasons I'm dumping this. Hopefully I will be able to mount the TH3D base magnet and not have to mess with this again. I do not like messing up my build plate. I don't like the effort it takes to get these off of there. And I don't really want to take the chance of actually bending the aluminum build plate. I really don't want to have to replace that. So this is out. TH3D is in. Hopefully it's a good plan. One thing I need to do before I go ahead and mount this flexible magnet sheet to the build plate is I need to cut these corners out. But I couldn't find any at TH3D's site with their EzFlex2 system that actually said that the corners were cut out. Now the metal part, yeah, that spring steel was already cut. It'd have to be cut, but I kind of wish these were cut, because trying to mount this fairly thick magnet over the screws on my build plate is going to make it so this does not sit flat. So these are going to have to go. Luckily I have my trusty silicone mat here and a razor blade, and I'm ready to go. Four corners and I am done. Now the trick is this 3M adhesive is probably pretty tough. So I'm going to have to systematically put this on bed nice and straight. So to do this, and when I did this on the Monster D9500, I did a pretty good job over there. I thought it was pretty slick. I am going to just start in the back here. I'm going to peel up a little bit of this paper. Now I just wanted that loosened, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this perfectly on the bed. And then I'm going to grab some of these clips and clip it in the front. Nice and sturdy. And then in the back, I'm going to reach underneath there and grab that paper that I already loosened, which you wouldn't be able to do if you had not loosened it already. And I'm going to make sure that that paper folds over so it doesn't create a big crease that gets in my way and changes my setting, get that folded underneath, and then I'm going to lay this down and roll from the front to the back to start that adhesive. And now I've got this perfectly straight on all these sides. Got the adhesive started. I can pull these off, and then I'm going to lift this up and reach in there to grab and pull this paper off, not all the way. Now I'm going to keep pressing from the back, a little bit at a time. Pull a little bit of paper, press a little bit of adhesive down, pull a little more paper, press a little more adhesive down. If you are methodical and careful, you won't get any bubbles underneath it, and you will get everything nice and straight, perfectly aligned. And there we go. Nice and straight and flat and no bubbles. Everything lines up perfectly. Very, very nice. And that makes it so that my TH3D flexible build plate can snap right down on there. PEI side up. We're good to go. Now all we got to do is try it out. So the print's done. Here it is. This actually popped off of the PEI surface here as I pulled it off the printer. So I got a pretty decent cube here. That worked really well. I got my prime lines taken care of, and the surface still looks brand new. So far, I'm going to call that a win, but stay tuned, because if this particular system gives me trouble, you know that I will report on it in the future. Like the flexible magnet plates I had on there before, totally delaminating on me under just normal use. Well, that's it for this episode of Grim 3D. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, leave a comment if you like, just keep it civil. Make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, and ring that bell. We'll see you out there.